just listening to Warriors fans. I live in the Bay Area and I talk to Warriors fans sometimes, usually in passing. And I think they know that Fox and Sabonis are really good. They're all stars. Um, but I think that there's a little bit of underestimating about them. Not saying that they're the reason. Like they're underestimating. They don't know that these guys are going to lead the Kings to this upset first round victory over the Warriors. But I do think that they don't really. They talk about Sabonis just like he just rebounds and passes. That's it. I'm like, dude, no, he's really far more dynamic than that. I think I heard, I forget who it was, but it was on Kruger's show, say that Looney, and I think I'm quoting him by saying this, Kevon Looney can shut down Sabonis. I thought that was kind of interesting. And also they say that Sabonis and Fox are both terrible defenders. And I'm like, okay, again, you're not watching. I would say Sabonis as an individual defender, on his own, he's very limited. But as a team defender, when this defense is playing the right way, he's one of the more prominent parts of it. And De'Aaron Fox, I always say that. Well, first of all, he has so many different energies and focuses to put out in different areas. So sometimes the defensive end does not always kind of like bring out the best of Fox. But really, the biggest complaint that you can make about Fox's defense is that sometimes he's a little over aggressive, trying to go for a steal behind a guy, and then he just allows the guy to go to the rim or something like that. Almost just that's the issue, being over aggressive. I don't think they realize how much of a defensive season. How much of a improvement Fox has made on the defensive season, on the defensive end this season, if I can get that out. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of underestimating about. I think they think the Kings have two all-stars. I don't think they realize that the Kings have two, superstars. I mean, they're gonna like all NBA type players. I just don't think that they don't give them that recognition. Do you get the same sense? Do you think there's a good chance for Fox and Sabonis to show what they got?
I mean, I guess kind of like respond to that first thing you said about those guys saying it. Like that's the media, and maybe the fans feel the same way as well as the media do. Maybe because a lot of people don't know about the Kings. They see their poor defense and like, well, if they have a poor defense and they're both star defenders, must be bad defenders too. And so it's like I can see where that's coming from, and the fans probably feel the same way. I mean, I don't know if Steve Kerr might feel that way. I mean, I assume the Warriors aren't just like they don't know anything about the Kings. It's like, yeah, no, they're bad. Like Sabonis can only pass and rebound. It's like clearly Steve Kerr knows more, and that he's a talented, the team defender and scorer too when you need him to be. But I think Fox and Sabonis can surprise Warriors fans and the media, showing like, okay, like we are more than just what the eye sees and what the media shows us to be. I think this is going to be more Sabonis' series than Fox's. And I think when we always talk about the Sabonis and Fox, like who's the better player? I think this is where it's really going to show. Where Fox is going to be a good scorer still. I think just Sabonis is. I think in the half court, I think that's really going to show how good he is of a passer and facilitator he is. And like, yeah, he's against Kevon Looney. Like, I'm not saying Kevon Looney is a bad defender, but man, he's got a couple inches on him. He's just as strong, if not stronger. I think he's really going to dominate down low.
Yeah. I mean, I think I don't discredit the fact that on the offensive end, Jokic has a few legs up on Sabonis. But if you remember correctly, and I think the same guy that said this pointed this out, the thing that Looney can, quote, shut down Sabonis. And I'm sure he doesn't really mean that like Sabonis is going to go like 2 for 12 from the field and finish with like 6 points or something like that. But he noted also that Kevon Looney, you'll remember this too. Kevon Looney got, eaten alive by Nikola Jokic and actually started kind of falling out of favor and out of the rotation at a certain point there during the playoffs. And it's just like, again, I concede that Jokic is a better offensive player than Sabonis, but Sabonis is not far off, like in any way. Sabonis is not as big bodied, but everybody talks about Sabonis being the strongest guy in the league. You know, he's
Mm-hmm.
skilled. He's so good with his footwork, and he's relentless on the glass. I mean, Looney's a great rebounder too, and I just think that'll be fun. But it's like, I don't know, Sabonis. I think if Warriors want to shut down Sabonis, I think that the way to do it is to take a page out of Toronto or Minnesota's book, get different guys on him. I mean, we'll get into this talking about the benches, but there's a variety of guys that maybe don't see the floor very much that I just think, and I don't cover the Warriors, but if you get kind of more disruption with, you'll be seeing a lot of Draymond Green at the 5 anyways, but if you can use the other 4 players on the floor to really just disrupt and find ways to mess with Sabonis, that really kind of ruins, if Sabonis is the central engine of this locomotive, disrupting that disrupts everything else. And you're talking about the importance of the half court. That's going to be the way to win. I don't think Kevon Looney is going to shut down. I don't think he's going to be the MVP of the series for shutting down Sabonis. I think after game 1, you'll see that, yeah, the Warriors can really mess with Sabonis. I do, but it's not going to be Kevon Looney. And it's just like, I don't know. How many times have we watched Fox? We talk about Fox being the most clutch player in the league, and he is. And that's so much more than clutch scoring. I mean, he'll turn it on defense. How many times does he get a steal late in the game and take it back for a dunk?
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. And we talk about Kings being like this wild card and this team that kind of comes out and is responsive to challenges and adversity. Again, we don't know. I mean, like, he might just turn it on to another level defensively. I mean, I wouldn't bet on it, but I think he's definitely going to show how talented he is and how effective he is on that end. And I think, especially if we're talking about it being kind of more Sabonis central and not putting as much focus on Fox with the ball in his hands or in ISO situations, which is another topic we'll get to, you're now reserving energy for other things like defense. So, and also in terms of like facilitation and getting involved on the boards, I think all of that is interesting. So, I mean, in terms of getting back to the question originally, do Warriors fans and, observers underestimate the Kings stars? Of course they do. I think that's been the battle of this whole season, is kind of proving and showing what Sacramento's got. And while that may not necessarily mean that they can push their team over the top against the defending champs, I still think that Warriors fans have a lot to learn about Sacramento's best players.
Agreed.
Absolutely. You hear that, Dub Nation?
You hear that, Dub Nation? We're going to hella believe.
Yeah.
What if we just stole that? It's our motto.
We believe.
Yeah. We believe or hella believe.
Yeah. That'd be funny. I don't know.